Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Christian Carambeu.
Welcome to your footballing fix.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
We've got football videos on YouTube, blogs, debates and discussion on Facebook and Twitter.
Plus we do a podcast and so much more.
It's we the people, for the people.
For our videos, including our interviews and special features, check out youtube.com/pitch talk.
Our podcast can be found on iTunes, Podomatic, TuneIn Radio and Spreaker, with older podcasts on mixcloud.com/pitch talk. Join the football revolution, because the pitch is where we eat,
The pitch is where we sleep.
and the pitch is where we talk. Join us on social media by searching for Pitch Talk. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Straight Shootin View. I am Straight Shootin LJA. Obviously 1/3 of the most handsome, the most opinionated trifecta in football, and that is Pitch Talk. You know what? One thing that I've seen recently is Manchester City asking to meet the body responsible for basically appointing referees. Because they're concerned about tackles being made against them. Now, This is interesting for a couple of reasons. This season obviously has been the start of the 2017-18 season has seen the start of retrospective punishment for diving, and I think Manchester City are trying to kind of argue that the same thing kind of should be done for tackles because I think they cited 9 examples of their players being on the receiving end of some rather rough treatment in terms of tackles. I'll put it lightly in that way, but to an extent, I think they've got a little bit of a point. But at the same time, it's kind of like, apparently the stats say that they're only, the 12th most fouled team in the major leagues in Europe. So it's kind of like, it's kind of not really much of a leg to stand on, to be perfectly honest. But the weird thing is that Manchester City are looking for a rules change. Now, it's one of them ones where it's like they want the rules changed so that incidents can be reviewed, even if they were already punished by the referee in a match. Now, this kind of does open somewhat of a Pandora's box, because if it's already been punished by the referee, in theory, a line's already drawn under it, but then in theory, you kind of take the power away from that referee. There's one argument there, because at the end of the day, if you're basically, if a referee's made a decision, then the referee's decision is not final. You're already kind of encroaching on that area with VAR, but that's a different story for another time, and that's another Pandora's box. But it is one of them ones where I think Man City, and especially Pep Guardiola, are looking for protection for their players, which, yes, sounds good. It sounds good for his business, but maybe not the business, to coin a phrase. Because at the end of the day, if you're seeking protection for only your players, then what about everyone else? Because Man City seem to be doing this on their own. Apparently they haven't canvassed the opinion of other Premier League sides. They haven't been in contact with any others. It's just them going to the PGMOL, Professional Game Match Officials Limited. It's only Man City who have gone to them to ask for this rules change. Now, if I was in Man City's position and I wanted a rule change, you don't do it on your own. There's strength in numbers, collective bargaining. It's like you've got a lot more stroke and a lot more power if you can bring up more examples. If you can say you've got a coalition of 12, 13, 14 Premier League clubs who feel exactly the same way as you, and can also bring up their own 9 examples of these rather rough tackles that have resulted in injuries in a number of cases and only been punished by bookings when they could have been reds, then you've got a lot more of a leg to stand on. But the fact that they've gone for it on their own, maybe it shows how deep their convictions lie. But I think it's one of them ones where it kind of takes a bit of credence from them, because they only seem to be arguing this case for themselves and not necessarily for the good of the league. So if they're not doing it for the good of the league and they're only doing it for themselves, then it's one of them ones where it's not going to get taken as seriously and it's going to get seen as frivolous. So as much as I kind of do agree, some tackles could be like legit reds and probably should be legit reds because they look horrible. But at the end of the day, it's a case of when you're only arguing it just for yourself and not bringing up any other examples, it looks like a subjective argument. I'll put it that way. It looks very, very subjective. So it's one of them ones where Man City, I don't think they've got a leg to stand on their own. I think they should have consulted other clubs and gotten other clubs involved, because the more people you have backing your cause, the more power your cause has. Because you could cite a lot more examples. You could be like, oh yeah, these people think so too. They've also got their own examples. It doesn't just look like you're only doing it for your own good. I mean, as I said, it's a case of re-sanctioning challenges, and also some of them like way after the fact as well. Again, that's going to open a Pandora's box where it's going to be like, okay, cool, well, then how far back do you go? Like with VAR, it's a case of, all right, so how many challenges do you get per game? Because Liverpool West Brom ended up kind of a cluster. Even though the decisions were right, it took ages, and the ref was just calling for everything. But VAR is another thing. But I just thought I'd make that as a comparative analogy. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that it's one of them was the fact that I said it seems like City are only fighting for themselves and they're not fighting for everyone else. So it's kind of like, looking at just some of the stats from BBC Sport. It's one of them was most fouled players in the league. Richarlison is on 77, Dele Alli 66, Jordan Ayew on 62, Alexis Sanchez on 56, Eden Hazard on 55, Zaha is on 55 as well, Barnes is on 45, Sterling's on 44. So Sterling's not even the most fouled player in the league, and he's been one of the most outspoken about complaining about players being butchered. So it's one of them ones where it's like it's just a bit I don't know. I don't think there's that much of an argument in it. I just don't think there's much of an argument in it, to be perfectly frank. But I'd like to know your views as well. I'd like to know your views. The Straight Shootin View, want to know your views. Comment section below. Drop your view in as well. Remember, you can catch me at SSLJA on Twitter. Also at Pitch Talk on Twitter as well. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Also, I am Liam LJA Angel on Facebook. Also, facebook.com/Straight Shootin LJA as well. Catch me on there. But you know what? I'd like to know your views. As Pep Guardiola and Man City, have they got a point? Have they got a point about requesting a rule change and protecting players from kind of rather harsh tackles? And also, what do you think of retrospective punishment in terms of the tackles that Manchester City have cited? Do you think it's opening Pandora's box in any way? I'd love to know your views. But you know what? For now, I have been Straight Shootin LJA, and until next time, I will catch you soon. Thanks for joining me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Christian Carambeu.
Welcome to your footballing fix.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
We've got football videos on YouTube,
blogs, debates and discussion on Facebook and Twitter.
Plus we do a podcast and so much more.
It's we the people, for the people.
For our videos, including our interviews and special features, check out youtube.com/Pitch Talk.
Our podcast can be found on iTunes, Podomatic, TuneIn Radio, and Spreaker, with older podcasts on mixcloud.com/Pitch Talk.
Join the football revolution, because the pitch is where we eat,
the pitch is where we sleep,
and the pitch is where we talk.
Join us on social media by searching for Pitch Talk.